loads we're going to follow up with here. The 45 Super on the left, that's 230 grain truncated cone. Average to our chronograph through our last test was 1,255 feet per second. That's producing right around 804 foot-pounds of energy. That's cast out of straight wheel weights. Same for the bullet on the right. That's a 175 grain truncated cone. Both of those are out of Lee standard grease groove bullet molds. The 10 millimeter load on the right is 1,535 feet per second spin by average over several tests. That's producing right around 916 foot-pounds of energy. So both of them are pretty stout. I don't know that there's much more wiggle room for the 45 Super. You know, I probably could get higher velocities out of 800X, but again, as in my previous video, the extreme spread with that bullet with blue dot is just it's just spot on. So I've chose to stay with that bullet. It's hard to improve on it when you're getting extreme spreads less than 7 feet per second. But what you'll see here in a little bit, we're going to shoot them into solid ice. We took 1 gallon milk jugs, froze a bunch of them. We're going to put a couple inch space in between them. That way they can't shove each other around. We're going to try to shoot and catch these bullets because I haven't been successful catching them with just regular water. They've shot through 6 1 gallon jugs, 8 gallon jugs, 6 hardwood boards, and then 4 gallon jugs. I haven't been able to find these bullets after I pull the trigger. So we're going to try to see if ice can do the trick for us. For the follow-up video with the 10 millimeter versus the 45 Super, we couldn't find a media that would stop the bullets, the truncated cones. This here's a follow-up video. What we have is 4 milk jugs that have been frozen solid. Those are as frozen as I can possibly get them. They've been in the freezer now for several days. We're going to shoot it at 23 yards. We left some space in between, that way it couldn't knock each other over. We're going to shoot the 45 Super first, and then we'll follow up with some replacement jugs and see what we can do with the 10 millimeter. 45 Super, 230 grain truncated cone, 23 yards. All right, the 45 Super, here was the first one. Definitely a full penetration all the way through. Here's the second one, hole in, hole out. And the third one has knocked over. I do not see any holes. So we did not catch the bullet. We did not get the bullet. We went through the first 2 jugs of solid ice. Does not look to me like we impacted anything on the 3rd jug. So we may have to get a couple more jugs and try it again. We'll try the 10 millimeter first, and then we'll come back to the 45 Super. 175 grain truncated cone, 10 millimeter. Alright, the 10 millimeter, 175 grain truncated cone. Good solid hit in the front, all the way through the first one. Solid hit in the front, all the way through the second one, into the 3rd jug, and no exit. So we believe we have a bullet in there somewhere, which we'll have to let it unthaw. But that's 3 jugs of solid ice at 23 yards for the 10 millimeter. We'll try the 45 Super again. It went through 3. We didn't capture it. We got 4 jugs set up. We're going to try it again. All right, perfect center hit through the first jug, through the back. I do not see any damage in the 3rd jug. So we're going to have to let this one unthaw to see if that bullet, which hit perfectly right in here, come out anywhere back here, which it does not look like it did, and I do not see it on the ground. So 10 millimeter into 3 jugs. First shot with the 45 Super went through 3. I thought it was a pretty good hit. It might have nosed up and took off, but as you can see, the 3rd jug with the 45 Super, nothing. We've allowed the ice to unthaw. We've recovered both bullets now out of the jug, and this one here's the 45 Super. Again, that's a 230 grain lead truncated cone, traditional grease groove, Eastwood's light blue coating on it. We recovered that one in the second jug. The first time we shot into it penetrated through the second jug, and we did not recover the bullet. It probably tumbled off into the grass somewhere. Could not find it. But on the second shot, this one stayed in the second jug, did not penetrate the third jug. But after unthawing, there's that bullet. And then here's the 10 millimeter. Come out of the third jug. As you can see, there's a little bit of deformation there on the tail end of the bullet. I'm not sure whether that was from the ice or whether that's from actual, maybe some flame cutting going down out the bore. A little bit of deformation on the nose, not a whole lot. These are both cast out of the same wheel weight, same content of lead, same pot. Again, this one's coated the same way with Eastwood's light Ford blue. As you can see, pretty much the 10 millimeter got into the third jug. I'm not sure whether I can count the 45 Super on the first one, being that it went through both jugs and we didn't recover, but it did not get into the third jug. And I don't think it contacted. I think it nosed up and actually veered off somewhere. But the second jug, on the second test, this one stayed in the second jug. So as far as the penetration on the two lead truncated cones, the 10 millimeter went further. Is that to say that that's going to be the guarantee every single time? Without true empirical data, using gel and everything else we probably can. I would say that this bullet right here will outpenetrate this one just about every time, based on the fact that it has a little bit of a smaller nose. It doesn't have the metplat area that this one does. So this one should, based in the same velocity area, same energy area. This one right here produces right around 915 foot-pounds. This one's producing 800 foot-pounds. If you was to try to get them in the same weight, maybe move this one up to 220 grains, give it on an equal keel, which I do not have a mold for that. I'm sure that these two right here is more conversational than it is reality in using it in the field. You take your pick, 10 millimeter 45 Super. This one will always be a little bit, it'd be in my opinion, this is to be the one I take. I always did like the 45. I like that big nose. I like the big chunks of lead. I like to push them along as hard as I can. But this one here, it's always been a little bit of a favorite of mine, 10 millimeter. It died off a long time ago and it started making a resurgence. You can see right there, if you was up in bear country, if you had that particular bullet and 15 other ones or 16 other ones behind it, you're in pretty good shape. You're not going to recover too many of them, even shooting into a medium-sized bear. They're going to go all the way through unless they hit some really dense bone. Same way with the 45 Super. Truncated cone, they feed good. If you're going to try to carry something in your arsenal to keep bears off of you, I would believe this one right here, Gary, with the ability to feed a little bit better than most bullets, with a good metplat on the front, and the fact that it'll penetrate till you probably can't find a bullet, I wouldn't hesitate carrying this one either. So I wanted to show it to you guys. I was kind of concerned. I wanted to see which one would outdo the other one, but as far as it is right now, based on the evidence, 10 millimeter in the truncated cone version will outpenetrate the 45 Super. And again, that's with my hand loads and my guns. It may be different for you with longer or shorter barrels and along those different lines, but for my test, the 10 millimeter outperformed the 45 Super in the penetration and ice.